Uh, so I won't be recording on Saturday or Sunday, so I most likely won't upload on those unless I pre-record. But my main schedule is Monday through Friday. But my grandma's living at our house now for a bit, so I might not be able to record. So yeah, but I'll do my best to find time. Okay, so this is part 4, the date. Naruto was nervous. He was going on the first date of his life, and it was with 4 women. Most men would be boasting in his position. He, however, wasn't most men. He stayed silent. He had taken the day off from training. From his team and the kunoichi. There were a lot of things for him to do for this date. Not that he neglected his training. He sent multiple shadow clones out to practice some Genjutsu with scrolls that Kurenai left, and some sword skills that Yu-Gi-Oh had shown him. Find something each for the kunoichi to enjoy. Find places where he isn't hated. Find how to act on the dates and get advice for his dates. He thought, I need serious help. Advice. Who can I go to? Should I ask the Ichiraku family? No. How about the old man Kage? No, he's a pervert. I've seen those books. There's always Iruka sensei. 10 minutes later, and he was in front of his old academy. It seemed his teacher was giving a lecture. Oh, how I hated those. Deciding to spare the kids the pain, he went through the entrance. Hey, Iruka sensei, I need your advice, he called. Naruto, he asked, shocked. I love to help you, but I'm busy with class. He looked at the class of children. They were either sleeping from the lecture. Deciding to be honest with his teacher, he said, Sensei, you've lost them. Just tell me what you need. He said annoying. Why does nobody like my lectures? He thought. Dragging his former teacher outside, he said, I need dating advice. Now Iruka had to admit that he was shocked. It didn't mean he would show it. After all, he was both a ninja and a teacher. So what do you need to know? He asked. Not even taking a minute to think, he said everything. 4 flowers, the Yamanaka shop. Hello, greeted Ino. Welcome to the Naruto. What are you doing here, Baka? He did his best to ignore the insult. I'm here to buy flowers for my date, he stated. I like to make a good first impression. Who would go on a date with you, she asked. I bet you just annoyed Sakura until she said yes. I'm not going on a date with Sakura, he stated. He really didn't want to deal with a fangirl. I just want to buy some flowers and leave. Fine, she sneered. What do you want? I want 4 bouquets, each mixed with red, black, pink, orange, and white flowers. One for Anko, Kurenai, Hana, and Yu-Gi-Oh, he thought. Great, now I have to tell you what they mean, she sighed in annoyance. You probably just choose them for their looks. Anyway, I know what they mean. Red is love, black is the beginning of new things, when not death. Pink is elegance and refinement, orange is warmth and vibrant tones, white is immunity, and innocence. Ino was shocked. Not only had Naruto of all people picked out flowers, but he actually knew what they meant. How does someone like you know what they mean? She asked. Can I have my flowers? He asked, ignoring the question. Why do you need four? She asked. Are you cheating on somebody? You are, aren't you? She accused him. Probably some poor civilians who you lied to. She said, did you do all that stuff? So, and said, did you do all that stuff, Sasuke-kun? How is Sasuke-kun? He mentioned. Enough, he roared. I am not cheating on anybody, he stated. I just want to buy my flowers for my dates. If you want to talk about the Uchiha, find Hana. Baka, she shouted. You should treat me with respect. I am the heiress to the Yamanaka clan. I think it means princess. And I don't have to sell you anything, she stated, but wasn't finished. And you are just nobody. What is going on here? A new voice asked. Ino and Naruto looked towards the source of the voice. It was Inoichi Yamanaka, Ino's father. He had been watching from the beginning. Your daughter refused to sell to me, stated Naruto. He knew Inoichi had been watching, and she constantly insulted me, he said. But he's a nobody, she stated, trying to defend herself. And what are we in Yanamakis without the Nara and Ichimaki, I can't say the name, Choji and Shikamaru's clans? He asked. I apologize for my daughter, and the flowers are free. Not waiting a second longer, Naruto grabbed his flowers and left. He had 4 different dates to prepare for. He remembered everything Iruka sensei told him, and he thought, I'll do fine. Who does that Baka think he is? Seated, getting me in trouble with daddy. I'm going to make him pay. Okay, Naruto, you can do this, he repeatedly chanted in his head. I just have to show them a good time. Stealing his resolve, he knocked on the door and Anko, hello, head behind. Greeting, getting a blush from Anko. I brought flowers. Hello, Foxy-kun, greeted Anko. As she took the flowers, welcomed in. We can get down to business. Can we get down to business? Down to business, he asked. What do you mean? That you don't think men and women do. She asked with a perverted leer. Naruto's face can put a tomato to shame. Uncle-chan, I don't think I'm old enough for that. There's a motto many shinobi live by. She spoke. Old enough to kill, then you're old enough to drink and have sex. Not only we're not enough into a relationship for that, he tried. Uncle saw that he honestly wasn't in it for the sex. He just wanted to have a relationship. I guess I'll throw him a bone. Fine, she spoke. But if we're going anywhere, I want you to drop the hedge. He did so happily. It made him feel accepted. What will we be doing? She was honestly curious. There's a place my former sensei recommended, he answered. It was supposed to be a non-biased place for us as well, he said, returning to the problem as well as his. Do they have danko? If they didn't, there would be trouble. And red bean soup, he added. Oh, then what are we waiting for? She grabbed him and literally started dragging him. Which way is it? Grabbing her arm, he sunshined to them to the location he was given. When they arrived, it looked like it was a barn mixed with a diner. It seemed to be a decent place on the outside. However, there were very few people around. Fire in the hole came a shout from the inside. No sooner it had been said, a man ran through the entrance. What the? He never finished. The whole building started to light up. Before coming down in a fiery explosion, "Hey, what are you doing here?" asked another voice. "This area is closed for demolition." Looking around, Naruto became aware of the signs. "Well, Gaki," teased Anko, "do you have what do you have planned?" He took a man to think, but came up empty-handed. "I've got nothing," he admitted. "I do," Anko spoke giddily. A little too giddily for Naruto. Grabbing her date, she took him a few blocks from their location. When they arrived, they were surrounded by unfriendly-looking people. They didn't seem to pay much attention to them, but the few that did just glared and looked away. "Uncle," he asked, "where are we?" "This is the place where I go to celebrate after every mission," she spoke. As they walked inside a shady-looking pub, Naruto knew he was in for a wild night. Anko was greeted by several people as they made their way towards the bar. They looked, they took a seat and waited for the bartender. He noticed them. "Hey, Anko," the bartender greeted. "What can I get you?" "Two of the usual," she ordered. "But make his small." She pointed towards Naruto. He attempted to say he would take the same as her until he saw what it was. It was a drink. That much was obvious. Uncle quickly snatched hers and started downing it. A second later, it was half gone. Taking a pause, she let out a large belch. Naruto's eyes had Naruto's eyes. It looked like it was mostly foam. Naruto eyed his, and it looked like it was mostly foam. Taking a single but large sip, he tasted it. It didn't stay long before he swallowed it. "It doesn't taste half bad." He quickly downed the rest. "We got ourselves a natural," laughed the bartender as he handed out a refill. 5 minutes later, they were having a drinking contest. Uncle was impressed. Naruto was able to hold his liquor. "I should take him out more." She thought. Another 10 minutes later, they lost count. Naruto wasn't drunk, but the same couldn't be said for Anko. "Hey, hiccup. Hey, Naruto. Hey, Naru-chan," coaxed Anko. "How about we, hiccup, go back to my place and, hiccup, become much closer." "Sorry, Uncle, but you're drunk," he said. "I'm gonna have to take you home." "Oh, but I want my Foxy-kun," she whined. Truthfully, she wasn't completely drunk. She just wanted to know what he would do. "Please, when you're sober," he reasoned. Unfortunately for Naruto, Anko knew a sobering jutsu. She fumbled through a series of hand signs. She was back to normal. "There, I'm sober," she stated. "Let's go." Wait, you tricked me," he accused, getting a laugh from Anko and the bartender. "Hey, if you don't want her, we'll happily take her off your hands," came a new gruff voice. Turning to the source, Anko and Naruto was greeted by an awful sight. There were three men, all dressed like thugs. They had made a small circle around Naruto and Anko. They gave They constantly gave Anko lust looks and Naruto glares. Sorry, pals, but she's my date for the evening, he spoke coldly. I hope the three of you understand. I hope you understand, Brat. The apparent leader sneered that we don't care if she's with the Hokage. Naruto was about to tell them to leave when Anko saw smile. She had that Naruto was about to tell them to leave when he saw Uncle smile. She has that look on her face. It usually ends up with pain. Hey Naruto, do you know what would make this evening even more perfect? She asked. She asked as her smile grew. No, no. Naruto noticed the bartender lower, lower himself out of a sigh. What would? Taking a sharp kunai, her smile grew. As fast as a ninja, she drove a kunai deep into the shoulder of a stranger. She then tossed the blood. She tossed the bloodied weapon into the hands of the leader of the trio. The stranger shook and looked towards the couple, then the trio. He spotted the weapon had stood to full height. The guy had been several feet tall. Letting out a roar, cried he divided towards the trio. Bar fight! Somebody screamed. 20 minutes later, Anko and Naruto were the only ones standing. Even the bartender had jumped in at some point. Anko was happy and exhausted, but still happy. She got to drink and fight, and even ate some poor sap's food for free. He thought he shouldn't have gotten knocked out as soon as he did, she stated. Naruto wanted to remind her that she was the one who knocked him out, but decided against it. The worst part was I can't read the word. She something several people, innocent people, with her snakes. Oh, let me get you home, home, Heim, stated Naruto. They reached her apartment a minute later through sunshine. They stood for a full minute. They stared at each other, or in Naruto's case, felt her chakra. Deciding not to wait any longer, Anko made the first move. Leaning forwards, she gave him a kiss on a chaste kiss. It felt wonderful to Naruto, no matter how short it was. I had a wonderful evening, Naruto-kun, she stated. I hope we can do this again soon, she hinted. So do I, he admitted. As she opened her door, he turned to leave but was stopped by a large snake coiled around him. Come in, Naruto, she ordered while looking a kunai in hand. How can I say no? He nervously laughed. Hana. At Hana's home, he was greeted by Hana's mother. Hello, you must be the pup's date, Naruto. Hana's mother. Hana, will you be down soon? Hello, Miss Tsuna, he greeted. No need for formalities, Naruto-kun, spoke Hana. Descending the stairs, my mother hates them as much as you. Hello, Heim, he greeted. Inaheim, he greeted. gaining a blush. Handing her the flowers, "I have these for you," he said. "Do you know what they mean, pup?" Tasuna asked, looking at the colors, gaining a nod from Naruto. "Have a good time, pup," Tasuna said before. And Tasuna said, taking a teasing tone. "Have her back before 10, and if you don't let me know, you're in the house." "Mother," Tasuna wasn't finished. "Don't forget, I want grandpups." Grabbing Naruto by the hand, she dragged him out. Once they arrived to the destination, Naruto dropped his disguise. They were in an open field on top of the Hokage monument. In the field was a blanket and a picnic basket. Inside, Hana could smell a lot of delicious items. It was making her appetite grow. "Let's see," started Hana. "Outside, with a beautiful view, delicious food. You did your homework on the Izunaka. Damn it. Kiba's family. Kiba's clan. The Iza. Alright. Blank women, Naruto kun. I tried my best," he said. Tankun, he offered. They were Hana's favorite. She was even more impressed when she found he had made them himself. They sat and ate in silence. It was comfortable silence, but still silence. Hana decided to break it. "Naruto-kun," she called, gaining his attention. "What are we? Where are we? The Hokage monument." He too was glad that the silence was broken. "This is my first comfort spot," he stated. "I still come here to think. Why didn't we come here instead of your field?" "Look up," he answered. They sit in the vastness that we know nothing about. They hide from us in the day while we stay in plain sight." She saw what he meant. "The stars. They're beautiful," she whispered. "Yeah, you are," he whispered, thinking she hadn't heard him, but she did. "Naruto, can I touch your whiskers?" she cautiously asked. Naruto visibly tensed at the request. He didn't let many people touch his whiskers, and the ones he did were rarely. To Naruto, that was a very intimate thing. As he thought the request over and over in silence, Hana mistook that as a no. "Sorry I asked," she apologized, realizing he hadn't been silent. He had been silent for a long time. He apologized. No, you can touch them." She assured her. He assured her. It's just they're very sensitive part of me." Really? She knew it was like touching something of the family taboo on the cheeks. Reaching slowly, she rubbed them. What happened completely shocked her. He purred. "Oh my god." She I'm not sure if anyone heard that, but my brother just opened the door and started doing stuff. Alright. Let me continue. Reaching slowly, she rubbed him. What happened completely shocked her. He purred. "Oh my gosh." She mentally squealed. "That is so cute." She couldn't contain herself and it happened again. Alright, I'm gonna continue again. She couldn't contain herself. She playfully tackled him onto the ground, knocking his blindfold off. It seemed like she was pinning him, but in fact it was her hugging him. To her, even to her surprise, he flipped her over and pinned her. When she looked at him into his eyes, she saw that they were innocent and playful. I like a young pup or a young kid. Sorry, Naruto, but I like being on top. She They repeated the process over several times. It wasn't long before they were running and chasing each other on all fours. They looked like a fox and a dog playing. It felt great for Hana. She felt like a child again, not a soldier. She wished it could last forever, but all great things must come to an end. I hope you enjoyed yourself, Inaheim, spoke Naruto. As they approached her home, I did, Naruto-kun, she said. I felt like a pup again, she admitted, blushing. She then stared at Naruto. Would you like to come in? It was Naruto's turn to blush. He quickly recomposed himself. He leaned in to kiss her and turned to leave. He didn't get far. In front of him were the triplets growling at him fiercely at him. They seemed to surround him. The center triplet stepped forward pointing his paw towards Hana. I think I'll take you up on that offer, Hana-chan, he stated. But could you call off the triplets? Yu-Gi-Oh! Hello, Uzi. He greeted as he handed her the flowers. Hello, Naruto-kun, she returned. They are beautiful, so where are we going? Well, I know that you are tired after Ambu and rarely relax, he spoke. And she admitted it was all true. So I've planned a smooth and calm evening for you, Naruto. Naruto held to his word. He had taken her to see the latest Princess Gal movie. It was a few days after airing, so it was relatively empty. They watched in peace. Yugia was impressed when Naruto made no attempts to fuel her up. It was simply he simply let her watch in peace. Once the movie had finished, they had taken a stroll through an abandoned park. I've got to admit, Naruto-kun, she started. This simple evening has been amazing. Deciding to take a break, they sat on a bench. He noticed that Yugia was constantly rubbing her shoulders. Are you okay? He asked. Yugia smiled at his concern. Yeah, just a little stiff. I could give you a shoulder rub, he offered, if you don't mind. I totally do understand if you do. She thought the offer over in her head. He seemed to want to help. He hasn't made any perverted attempts. I'll trust him, she thought. Sure, she answered, turning so she wasn't facing him. They began. He started by giving gentle rubs and needles. I don't know how to say it. These earned groans of pleasure from Yu-Gi-Oh! With these encouragements, he added a bit of pressure, and the groans grew louder. Naruto, would you mind adding a little chakra? She requested. I don't mind, but my chakra isn't good, he offered. My chakra destroys while my blood heals. Oh, she had forgotten about the fox. I could use that, he offered. Your blood? Yes, but he trailed off. But what? You need to take off your shirt. He flinched and brought his hands up for defense. Not the face. Relax, I'm not going to hit you, Naruto, she assured him. I've already taken my shirt off. Well, when did you? He asked. And why? You're wearing a blindfold, she explained. As long as it stays on, I know you aren't a pervert. Don't worry, he promised. It'll stay on. Pulling out a kunai, he made a small but deep cut on each hand. He let the blood fill his hand before the wound healed. They closed faster now, he thought, beginning to rub around where she felt tense. The groans increased further as the blood healed the pain. Naruto-kun, called Yugia. Yes, he asked. Instead of answering with this, instead of answering, she simply turned towards him. Because of the blindfold, he wasn't aware of the expression on her face. Leaning forward, she gave him a deep kiss. I'll be back. It was a complete surprise to Naruto-kun, but he loved it. Before he knew it, she had knocked him onto the ground, removed his blindfold and some of their clothes. Yugia-chan, he gasped. You're moving a bit too fast. Shush, shush. She shushed him. But she silenced him by drawing a kunai and slamming it down beside his head. She drew a second one. You were saying? She asked. Nothing, he said. Hello, Kurenai. Hello, Benaheim. He greeted, handing the flowers over. Hell, Naruto-kun. She greeted with a smile. What have you planned? I'm thinking about a nice dinner, he stated. There is a place that makes great seafood. Taking his arm, they shined away. They appeared in front of a small, casual restaurant. Hello, I'd like a table for two, requested Naruto. Table for one coming right up, the greeter spoke with a sneer. If you like to follow me, miss, I think you misheard him, spoke Kurenai. He said a table for two, she spoke with emphasis. Sorry, miss, we don't serve. He seemed to think of the right word. That, he pointed, as if it was accusing. It would be bad for business, he spoke. I see, spoke Naruto. Time to gather my first bit of fear, he thought. Removing his blindfold, he allowed his new eyes to be seen. Seeing the fear in the greeter, he decided to take it up a bit. He allowed his hedge to unravel. Slowly, he added, slowly, so it added to the effect. He gave him a feral smile. It would have made Anko proud. Now, about that table, he stated coldly. To table for two coming up, he said. They were quickly seated and abandoned by the greeter. The waiter, after seeing the look, took their orders and disappeared. As he attempted to reapply his disguise, he was stopped. I want the real you, she stated. It's not a request. So, what do we have here? Came a new voice. Turning to the source, they saw Asuma Sarutobi, the son of Heroes and Sarutobi. Hello, Asuma-san. She quickly corrected Naruto, this is my friend Asuma, she said, getting a raised brow from Asuma. Nice to meet you, Naruto, he greeted, ignoring Naruto's appearance. If you don't mind, I'll join you too. No, great, he said, pulling up a chair before either could answer. It's not as if this is a date, right? Actually, it is, corrected Kurenai. Well, what? Asuma was in total shock. But he. Later, Asuma stated Kurenai fiercely. We'd like to enjoy our date. She really hoped he caught the hint. He didn't. How did you two meet? He asked. I'm trying to teach him a bit of Genjutsu, she answered. Genjutsu, huh? He thought. He thought on it. Wouldn't you prefer ninjutsu or even taijutsu? It seemed reasonable with the chakra and stamina Naruto was said to possess. It was a well known from his prank sprees. Actually, I've seen how useful Genjutsu is firsthand, stated Naruto. For taijutsu, the blonde, a blade can do a lot more than a punch. And I understand the blade part. I can just use them myself. Agreed Asuma, but you can't use Genjutsu in combat without support. Time or focus, reasoned Asuma, but Genjutsu can easily be broken in multiple ways. Yes, but you can't use ninjutsu because of the allies surrounding and even bystanders. Yes, but you can't use ninjutsu because of allies, surroundings, and even bystanders, countered Naruto. Also, if Genjutsu is strong enough, or the wielder is skilled enough, then those things are important. True, but Kurenai was upset Asuma was ridiculing Genjutsu, her specialty. She was happy that Naruto was defending the art. As she watched the argument continue, their food arrived, as did Asuma. When did he order? Asuma began to light a cigarette. This seemed to irritate Kurenai, which in turn irritated Naruto. If Asuma noticed their expressions, he happily ignored it. Could you please not light that here? Naruto asked. Asuma took a light look around before speaking. Don't worry, he said. There's no smoking signs. This irritated both Kurenai and Naruto further. Okay, how about this? Tried Naruto. Let's make a deal. What kind? If I can prove right here, right now, that Genjutsu is as useful as ninjutsu, he thought, then you'll pay for our dinner. Deal, he agreed. And if not, then you'll pay for my steak and rice. Maggots, stated Naruto. Fear, here I come. What? Asuma asked, confused. He didn't like Naruto's smile. There's something squirming in my mouth. You're eating maggots, Naruto said. Asuma looked down at his food, and on his plate were maggots squirming on his food. The food itself looked old and had a mixture of various trashes. Realizing what the squirming in his mouth was, he began to vomit. He wasn't able to continue, emptying his stomach. It was as if his very mouth has been sealed shut, but it didn't stop the puke from filling up. Looking towards Naruto, he saw the deformed face. It seemed to be melded with a fox and a man. The shock was too much for him. Jumping from his seat, it was empty. All of the seats were empty. He didn't hear chuckling. He did hear chuckling and felt a piercing sensation in his back. Turning, he saw it was Naruto. He was holding a kunai that had been lodged deep into Asuma. He continued to twist the blade, drawing out the agony from the jonin. Naruto raised his hand and made it to punch Asuma in the face. Attempting to block, Asuma raised his arms. He never felt the blow come. Opening his eyes, he saw that he was still sitting at the table. Naruto was given a Sorry about the alarms. I'm still a teenager and I have to do chores and whatnot. Alright. Attempting to block, Asuma raised his arms. He never felt the blow come. Opening his eyes, he saw that he was still sitting at the table. Naruto was given an attempted and failed innocent look. Kurenai only sat back with a smug expression on her face. What was that? What was that about Genjutsu, Asuma? She asked. Also, I'll have you know we changed our orders. She chuckled. It wasn't cheap. How did he do that? He asked. I never even saw him weave hand signs. He looked at them before her words sunk in. When did you two order and eat? I was out for only a few seconds. There aren't any hand signs, Naruto admitted, and Genjutsu time becomes irrelevant. That kind of Genjutsu takes years of experience, Asuma shouted. Or just a great teacher, Naruto countered. Kurenai blushed at the compliment. I have a student that is very eager to learn. Naruto blushed at the compliment. I have a student that is very eager to learn, she said. Their eyes met and they shared a blush. Kurenai felt like a girl on a first date. Naruto was a boy on his first date. A deal is a deal, Asuma admitted before reaching around his pockets. Oh dear, it seems like I forgot in my wallet, he spoke, trying to be sly. Well, that's too bad for you, spoke Naruto with a smile, because we already left. With that, both Kurenai and Naruto faded out of reality. Sir, I was told that you were given the bill by your companion, spoke the waiter. Looking at the bill, Asuma felt his heart stop. She wasn't kidding when she said it wasn't cheap. He looked at his cigarette. If I smoke the whole pack now, will it kill me and keep me from paying? There's only one way to find out, he thought. Somewhere in the park, Kurenai and Naruto were sharing a laugh. When they regained control of themselves, they began to walk towards her apartment. I used what you tried to teach me and those girls, he explained. I added a little change. Well, it was amazing, she stated. You taught him not to underestimate Genjutsu. And I'm sorry he ruined our evening. I'm sorry that he ruined our date, stated Naruto in a sadder tone. It's okay, she assured him. Honestly, I'd feel much better if you could make it If I could make it up to you, he stated. I know a way that I know. Look that way. He gestured towards the sky. Looking in the direction, she saw something truly amazing. Something that truly amazed her, a sunset. She watched as the village was illuminated by the setting fireball. It was as if the sun was trapped in a state of orange and cris, damn it, chrisman, fuck, the red color, the dark red color, perfection. He did this for me, she thought to herself. She thought to herself in amazement. The raw beauty was overwhelming. Kurenai couldn't stop the single tear that had escaped her eye. And like that, it was all gone. Sorry, I couldn't hold it any longer, Naruto panted. Panted Naruto. I need more practice. He then saw a tear trickle. He then he, he then saw her tear trickle from her face. Oh no, Kurenai-chan. What's wrong? She took his arm and smiled. He really cares, she thought. Nothing's wrong, Naruto-kun, she assured him. I didn't mean to make you cry. He was cut off by a finger to the lips. Kurenai then reached in and gave him a chaste kiss. She then deepened it as if there were tongues fought for supremacy. And like the Genjutsu, it all came to an end all too quickly. Naruto-kun, she asked,